Every July 4th, America looks up at the sky to watch the fireworks. But if you look down into the history books, you'll find something terrifying. America's birthday hides a dark, deadly secret. This isn't just a holiday. It's a date that has mysteriously stalked founding fathers, hunted down presidents, and birthed the nation's darkest chapters. Is it a statistical anomaly, or a curse that has haunted this country for 2.5 centuries? Today, we are exposing the sinister reality of the 4th of July. Number 1. The Phantom Date. Our first chilling fact starts with a glitch in history itself. The 4th of July is a lie. America celebrates a day that technically shouldn't hold any power. The Continental Congress actually voted for independence on July 2nd. John Adams even wrote to his wife that July 2nd would be celebrated for generations with pomp and parades. The Declaration was formally adopted on the 4th, but nobody actually signed the parchment until August 2nd. July 4th was just a bureaucratic phantom date, a manufactured symbol. Yet, somehow, this artificial date woke something up. It became a magnet for tragedy, proving that sometimes, when a nation breathes life into a myth, the myth starts taking lives in return. Number 2. The 50-Year Blood Pact. If the first fact was strange, this one defies mathematical logic. July 4th, 1826. It is exactly the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. The entire country is celebrating its Golden Jubilee. On this exact sacred day, the two most important architects of the United States, Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, take their final breaths. These men were fierce political rivals who became unlikely friends in their twilight years. And they died within 5 hours of each other. The strangest part? As John Adams lay on his deathbed in Massachusetts, his final words were, "Thomas Jefferson survives." He was wrong. Jefferson had died just a few hours earlier in Virginia. Newspapers at the time called it divine intervention. But as the years went on, people began to wonder if it was something far darker. Number 3. The Rule of 3. Once is an accident, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a curse. Exactly 5 years after the deaths of Adams and Jefferson, the nation was preparing to celebrate again. It is July 4th, 1831. James Monroe, the 5th President of the United States and the last of the Founding Fathers, mysteriously falls ill and dies. Let that sink in. 3 of the first 5 American presidents died on the exact same date, the anniversary of the country they built. Statisticians have run the numbers on this. The probability of 3 out of 5 leaders dying on the exact same calendar day of the year is mathematically microscopic. After Monroe's death, the whispers officially began. The 4th of July was no longer just a holiday, it was a deadline. Number 4. The Poisoned Holiday. You would think the curse only targeted the founders, but by 1850 it claimed another victim in the most bizarre way possible. July 4th, 1850. President Zachary Taylor is attending a scorching hot ceremony at the unfinished Washington Monument. To cool down, he consumes huge quantities of ice water, cold milk, and a large bowl of cherries. By that evening, Taylor was writhing in agony with severe stomach cramps. 5 days later, he was dead. The circumstances were so sudden and strange that for over a century, rumors swirled that he was secretly assassinated. In fact, the suspicion was so intense that 141 years later, in 1991, Zachary Taylor's body was officially exhumed from his tomb to test for arsenic poisoning. The tests were negative. It wasn't an assassin, it was just the 4th of July striking again. Number 5. The Tragedy of the Only Birthday Boy. If July 4th takes the lives of presidents, what happens to a president actually born on this day? In the entire history of the United States, only one president was born on the 4th of July, Calvin Coolidge. You might think this made him the ultimate lucky patriot, but the curse found a way to strike him where it hurt the most. In 1924, right as the White House was preparing for the 4th of July festivities, Coolidge's 16-year-old son played a game of tennis on the South Lawn. he developed a simple blister on his toe, but it became infected. Right on his father's birthday, the 4th of July, the boy fell deathly ill with sepsis. The celebrations turned into a nightmare. He died 3 days later. Coolidge was utterly broken, later writing, "When he went, the power and the glory of the presidency went with him. The curse didn't take the president's life, it took his soul." Number 6. The city that canceled the 4th of July. The curse doesn't just stalk individuals, it has broken entire cities. July 4th, 1863. The American Civil War is tearing the nation apart. After a brutal 47-day siege where desperate civilians were forced to hide in caves and eat rats to survive, the Confederate stronghold of Vicksburg, Mississippi, finally surrendered. The date of their humiliating, agonizing defeat? The 4th of July. The trauma was so deep and the association with death so profound that the entire city of Vicksburg officially refused to celebrate the 4th of July for the next 81 years. A major American city boycotted the nation's birthday until 1945, right at the end of World War II. For them, July 4th was not a day of freedom, it was a day of blood. Number 7. The Independence Day. Riot nobody wants to remember. By the 20th century, the 4th of July was supposed to be a symbol of unity, but on July 4th, 1910, it exposed one of America's deepest wounds. That day, in Reno, Nevada, Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight champion of the world, stepped into the ring against Jim Jeffries, the so-called Great White Hope. For millions of white Americans, Jeffries was not just a boxer. He was supposed to restore the old racial order, but Johnson destroyed him. As the news spread across the country, celebration turned into violence. Black Americans who dared to celebrate Johnson's victory were attacked in city after city. Riots broke out from New York to Chicago, from Pittsburgh to New Orleans. At least 19 people were killed and hundreds more were injured. On the very day America celebrated freedom, mobs tried to punish black citizens for celebrating a black man's victory. It was not a foreign enemy attacking the 4th of July, it was America turning on itself. Number 8. The Zodiac's Independence Day strike. Our final dark fact brings the curse into the realm of true crime. Serial killers often use noisy holidays to mask the sound of their gunfire. But for America's most terrifying, unidentified phantom, the Zodiac Killer, July 4th was his grand debut. Late on the night of July 4th, 1969, while California was celebrating with firecrackers, the Zodiac committed his most infamous attack, shooting a young couple in a parked car. Just after midnight, he made his very first phone call to the police, not only claiming responsibility but taunting them. For most of America, July 4th, 1969, was a celebration. But for investigators, it is the exact date the most chilling, unsolved mystery of the 20th century officially began. The fireworks literally muffled the sound of murder. In 2026, America will celebrate 250 years of independence. The fireworks will be louder than ever. But after 2.5 centuries of strange deaths, buried myths, and national wounds, one question remains. Is July 4th really America's birthday, or America's most haunted date?